Opportunity Calls with Ellen Volpe is sponsored by LongIsland.com.
In 2017, you founded the Soul Center in Port Washington. Being committed to inner and outer well-being, I'm wondering if you could tell us why you did it and what's available there to all of us in terms of being more mindful and having more mindful living.
Yes, I believe mindfulness, it's really our awareness that helps with education. So I teach mindfulness, I guess because I am a mindfulness meditation practitioner for a few decades now. I met mindfulness and meditation during my graduate work at the Max Planck Institute of Biophysics in Germany. And there I started practicing, and I believe the meditation practice together with my research work were always never separate from one another. So realizing why I do things is important to me. And I think anyone will benefit from pausing, recognizing their thoughts, realizing how thoughts lead to action. And that gives a sense of well-being when we take a minute and just recognize this moment. We could even do that right now. If we just take a breath, and we live in a quite fast-paced culture, and very few people are taking the time to be here. We may be sheltering in place, but how many people are really there where they are? I would dare to say that most people are not with their mind embodied in this moment. At least many people I talk to are out of their mind, meaning they're either traveling into the future with their thoughts or staying in the past. I've seen that in COVID. People wish things were not like this. That's unproductive because things are like this right now. Mm-hmm. And it hurts. Part of my practice, I belong to a Tibetan Buddhist lineage, mm-hmm. where we have been working for decades with leaning into discomfort, welcoming the unwelcome. I'm quoting a book by Pema Chodron, one of the lineage holders, mm-hmm. is when we work with our mind, we start recognizing reality for what it is and not wishing away each moment. Mm. When I see a lot of, it's fantasy really to want things to be different from what they are. Mm. But when we recognize the reality of our lived experience, that's empowering. And that's what I work with. And my groups, we've been resourceful here and moved online like everyone else. Nice. And I really want to actually celebrate you for how you continue in this new environment. We just must adapt. Right. That was Darwin's message to, in terms of evolution. Natural selection, evolution, it has to do with adaptation. How do we adapt to changing times? Yeah. And my group, I've really enjoyed how the Soul Center Sangha, we are online, and we have a group that keeps meeting and is growing. And now we're not anymore confined by the physical restraints of the meditation studio. So we have friends coming in to meditate from Italy and Iceland, from the West Coast, and it's really been a lovely experience, and we've supported each other through this time. And everyone is welcome to join us. It's www.sol.center. That's our website where you can see our classes. And I teach both private and group mindfulness meditation. And I find that I'm not quite sure how I would have dealt with this time without it. I stepped up my own meditation program because when a pandemic hits you, it's not comfortable. It's been extremely uncomfortable. Right. So all of our teachings center around impermanence and cause and effect, and recognizing the ability to be comfortable, even in uncomfortable circumstances, keeping a stable mind, even if things are not the way I want it to be. So recognizing what's really going on and working with that productively.
Yeah. The other day when we were speaking about your children, and there was a question of a snow day or not a snow day. And I was taken back by the fact that you allowed your children a day to just to be, as opposed to not being. And I was just wondering if you could speak to that, because I think we can leave a lot of families with some power if you would share that story.
Well, I believe in wellness days. And I noticed my daughter was really at the end of her ability to cope. She was getting very frustrated, and these children have been going to school now for months with mask on, 9 to 3, and behind their plexiglass. And we took a day off where we stayed together, and I took a day off too, and it was a wellness day. Instead of stressing our bodies and minds to the point of needing a sick day. And that's also something I practice personally, is noting my ability to be present and centered, and taking the time to do so. It generates a well-being that's within me, so it's not dependent on the external circumstances. And these are learned behaviors. I didn't always make these kind of choices. This is something I've learned with my meditation practice, and it really feeds my purpose to teach meditation, because I've witnessed firsthand how it helps. 20 years ago, I was not of such a stable mind as I am today.
So there's hope.
I actually, if you'd ask anyone who knew me 20 years ago, I had the tendency to some Viking anger. I would strike with, I blame it on my ancestors, but I have come a long way.
I'm so happy that you came my way, and I am so happy that you could join me today, Hildur.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Opportunity Calls with Ellen Volpe is sponsored by LongIsland.com. American Business Associates is New York Metro's premier business development and networking association. To learn more about ABA, visit aba-ny.com.